Welcome to the Joyful Journey podcast, where we explore the path to inspired living by tuning into the wisdom within and around us. I'm your host, Anita Adams, and today I'm sharing some powerful lessons learned while recently walking the Camino de Santiago in southern France. This isn't just a story about blisters and backpacks. It's about surrender, discomfort, and the courage it takes to hold space for others to grow. So let's dive in. There is something incredibly powerful about walking in nature, particularly so when you do it for hours, day after day. If you are ready and willing to receive, this time in nature will teach you a great deal about yourself. This was precisely my experience as I led a group of women along a 150-kilometer trek on the Camino in southern France. What I discovered is that I'm still trying to control things that are well beyond my sphere of influence, and that I have a deep-seated need to make others feel comfortable. It's that nurturing part of me that loves taking care of others. But I was reminded that making others feel comfortable isn't always the most loving thing to do. Do you ever feel a strong urge to make others feel comfortable too? If that resonates, this episode was made for you. I wanted all the women I was guiding on this trip to have an amazing experience. And somewhere in my mind, I had equated an amazing experience with being happy and comfortable. But here's the thing. Walking 20 plus kilometers a day in the heat with sore muscles and blistered toes is anything but comfortable. And that's just the physical discomfort. When you walk for hours at a time, there is no escaping your thoughts. And sometimes those thoughts take you to uncomfortable places. That quiet time forces you to reflect, to look at who you are choosing to be. And if you're wise, like the woman who walked beside me, you start to ask the deeper questions. Is who I'm choosing to be in alignment with who I really am? That naturally leads to the next. Who am I, really? And how do I want to show up in the world? And from there, more questions arise. What do I truly want? What do I need to let go of? What is calling me forward? Answering these questions is part of what the Camino is all about. But finding those answers isn't always easy. Sometimes they come slowly, wrapped in frustration. Sometimes an answer surfaces that stirs fear and confusion. And all of it can be deeply uncomfortable. What I realized on this walk is that my role wasn't to make everyone feel good. It was to hold space for reflection, for growth, for their own becoming. It was to trust the process. How often do we rush in to soothe someone's pain, to smooth things over, to fix what we perceive as broken? Sometimes, yes, that impulse is kind and nurturing, but other times it gets in the way. It reminds me of the parable of the man and the moth. Maybe you're familiar with this story. It goes like this. One day a man found a cocoon of a moth. He sat and watched for hours as the moth struggled to emerge from a small hole at the top and looked stuck. Wanting to help, the man took a pair of scissors and gently cut open the cocoon. The moth then emerged easily, but its body was swollen and its wings were small and shriveled. The man expected the wings to grow and expand, but they didn't. The moth spent the rest of its life crawling, never able to fly. What the man didn't understand was that the struggle to emerge through this tiny opening is what forces fluid from the moth's body into the wings, preparing it for flight. By taking away the struggle, he had taken away the moth's ability to fly. The moral, of course, is that struggle is not the enemy. Struggle is what strengthens us. It's what prepares us for flight. And that was my lesson to relearn on the Camino. Sometimes love looks like holding steady space, not fixing, not rescuing, just allowing, trusting that each person's journey is unfolding exactly as it should. I'm grateful I clued into that early on the trip. It allowed me to step back and let things unfold with greater ease. And what I witnessed was powerful. Women discovering strength they didn't know they had, facing truths they had been avoiding, and finding clarity in the discomfort. The Camino is not just a physical journey, it's a spiritual one. And the lessons it offers stays with you long after the walk is done. So if you're facing something uncomfortable in your own life, ask yourself, what might this be preparing me for? Your wings may be forming. And if you're witnessing someone else's struggle, ask, how can I support them, not save them, so they can learn to fly? Thanks for walking with me through this episode, Joyful Journeyer. If what I shared today resonates with you, I invite you to read my book, Whispers of the Soul. It's available on Amazon and dives deeper into how we can connect with our inner wisdom to live more joyful, inspired lives. And if you feel called to join me on a future Camino or nature-based retreat, I'd love to have you along. Visit my website at joyfulinspiredliving.com to learn more and stay connected. Until next time, keep listening to those soul whispers and trust the path is unfolding just as it should. We'll see you soon.